Why don't you introduce yourself to the flock? Because I'm sure there's some new folks that haven't met you yet. So.
Of course, thanks, Dave. Hi everyone. My name is Ammar Yousaf. I've been with the organization, as Dave mentioned, just over 13 years. I started off as an agent, where I worked there for about 4 to 5 years, and then moved into the IT help desk team. Then worked my way through server, network, information security, and now in my current capacity, although my title is VP of Information Security and Risk, where it's my core discipline, I'm moving into a bit more of a transformational role in terms of product, process engineering, and leveraging automation and AI to bring it all together. Exciting times.
So appreciate you sharing that, Ammar. You mentioned AI, which is obviously the most common, I think, word that we're using in our industry just now, and especially at BGO. In 2025, I think it's going to be huge on AI, right, in many factors, and I think it'd be great for the flock to hear, with your kind of transitional role, how is BGO currently using AI, and what does the future look like?
Yep. So I'll say that Bill Gosling Outsourcing began its journey with artificial intelligence late 2023 in September. Through all of the hype in the industry, our technology partners and key clients, we learned that artificial intelligence, through what OpenAI released to the world via ChatGPT, was very revolutionary. I think statistically, it had the quickest onboarding rate in terms of any platform. This topples social media as well. So that's quite a significant statement in terms of how quickly, I believe, 1 million users signed up in just a bit over a week. So Bill Gosling started their journey by taking a proactive approach and using a AI ethics policy, drafting it, sharing it with the necessary teams such as compliance, legal, HR, information security, and others. And we really wanted to set the foundation of our principles in reference to establishing an AI ethics and governance framework. So the AI ethics policy was key in terms of setting the ground rules of how our organization was to play and leverage artificial intelligence. And I'm very proud to say that we've been very fortunate to have key items in our policy, such as only using private models, and a key differentiator between the public version of ChatGPT and other large language models, along with the private versions of them, is that the private versions don't use the data that's processed through them to actually train the model. So it provides a ethical and secure and responsible way to leverage AI. And then we shortly moved to establishing an AI governance committee. And that committee established an AI registry, which we can talk a bit further about, an approval framework, legislative guidelines, and an AI project list. So that was the start of our foundation with artificial intelligence.
We know that AI has been a big part of many businesses for well before ChatGPT came out, right, Ammar? Because Chat's a generative AI versus, let's call it, traditional AI, but certainly lots of businesses that we can think about, such as Amazon, and Uber, and Airbnb, they were all built based on using AI to predict what a customer may want or need or buy or do, really, right?
Spot on. Yeah, to Dave's point, if anyone thinks about services like Google Maps, Uber, others like Netflix, YouTube, etc., all of them have leveraged artificial intelligence, I'd say, for well over 15 to almost 20 years. And they've gotten a lot better in terms of tweaking and training their own internal models. And ChatGPT was the first consumer grade tool that came out to the masses, followed by Claude and some of the others. But to Dave's point, artificial intelligence has been around for quite some time. It was kept away to the large players, but has been unleashed upon the world as of late.
And as you mentioned that, Ammar, a question just came into my head there. Granted, the AI's been around for some time, but maybe to the general public it seems quite new. But what's one myth that about AI from your experience and maybe from those industries that you mentioned there? What's one myth about AI that you'd like to debunk, I suppose, versus what the general conception is?
I'd say when people hear about artificial intelligence and they relate it to their personal lives, they think AI is going to come alive in the form of, Cortana or the Terminator or several other things that we've seen in movies, and it's albeit this evil entity that's going to radically destroy the world. That's still possible. However, at the point of where we're currently at, we're at artificial narrow intelligence, which is what we're currently seeing in terms of the masses use. It's what Dave referenced regarding all of the applications from Amazon, Google, Microsoft, etc. And there's a large premise for these organizations to continue to establish ethical rules of how they continue to develop their models. So, do I think we're going to have a Terminator that comes alive in the next wee bit and starts really reigning in its rule on humanity? I'd say currently very unlikely, but it's all upon humanity how quickly and how long that takes to come to life. So I think there's so much more that AI can benefit humanity with. If anyone has leveraged the latest voice model from OpenAI, I was conversing with my mom in Urdu, and I learned that the voice model knows Urdu and Punjabi. So I had a conversation with my mom, the artificial intelligence, and me, all speaking in Urdu, which was quite fantastic. And my mom almost thought it was voodoo. Not to date her in terms of any years beyond where she's currently at, but that's one of the things that I mean by it truly being this beneficial tool that can help all walks of life in terms of how they work with or learn, most importantly, from technology.
You kind of answered my next question there, is where do you see it impacting our industry in the next 5-10 years? So T1000 and Terminator is probably part of that answer then, is that what we're saying, Ammar? So I'll do that.
No, all good, Paul. And in terms of where we see it taking part of our industry, Dave and I and others were at Workday Rising, where we saw how Workday is leveraging AI to confirm they've been using it for years, but actually enabling their user base, their clients and customers to start utilizing it in their day-to-day operation. And I think what we're going to see in terms of our industry and several others is the enablement to have artificial intelligence assist our staff, our agents, and others through data analysis, scoring, and providing beautiful insights to the end user at the end of the day.
It's all going to be crazy fun times, right? And we're already seeing it, right? And you talk about Workday, and Workday has been in our world since 2013, and we were customer 407 or something like that, and now they have, 10,500 customers roughly, Ammar. So
yeah,
that whole ecosystem has grown so much, which is great because they get so much more input from their customers on where they should go with things, right? And while Workday's platform has had lots of digitization, let's say, as part of it, AI is just going to make it that much better and that much less time looking for things and more time doing things that are adding value.
I couldn't agree more, Dave. If we take a look at the feedback from the audience, even at Workday Rising 2023, in terms of when they were initially discussing AI, showcasing a few things, to when they actually demonstrated artificial intelligence in use of their products, the crowd was loud, cheering for wanting it now. And shortly after, Workday did release certain aspects of their artificial intelligence, which has been great to see. So exciting times ahead.
Yeah. Now, I do want to talk a little bit about biases because I was at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show on the weekend, and I just decided to throw something into chat. And I said, hypothetically, if I was to buy a boat in South Naples area, where would I put that? What marinas would you recommend? And the AI came back and it listed about half a dozen models. But then it said at the end, I don't think you should really consider this, Dave, based on your age.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And Dave touched upon it in a beautiful way. Artificial intelligence is going to be prone to bias, is going to be prone to hallucination. And I think the best way to put it is as humans can have bias, not that we tend to normally hallucinate, but as we have bias, we can instill that bias into artificial intelligence. Dave outlined an example of where he recently saw it kick in. There was a great case study where Amazon, I think it was in 2016, started to build a recruitment AI model. And unfortunately, the people that were training the model only used resumes for males. Now, what that led to was that the model had an inherent bias and it was only screening for males up until the human in the loop came in, unfortunately, a few months, maybe a year too late, and actually outlined, hey, we've made a great mistake here. So, AI is going to definitely be prone to bias and hallucination. Through recent learnings, I've seen artificial intelligence perform very much in a way that it appreciates board game rules. And I know that may sound odd, but if you are leveraging a large language model and you add rules to it, such as eliminating bias, preventing hallucination, I call it adding guardrails into your deployment or prompt. It allows one to very finely tune and tailor the desired output. And this is being seen more and more as organizations are spending a lot of their time fine-tuning their data sets. And I think a beautiful part about being at Bill Gosling Outsourcing on top of several others is that we have such a vast data set from our service to our clients, service to our staff, in addition to the partners from our vendor network that we depend upon, that it allows such a potential for using our data sets in an ethical way to train the model for better and greater accuracy with less bias and hallucination.
So, Ammar, as we wrap up, and we could go on this subject for hours, can you suggest 2 or 3 things, sources that any of the Goslings that are new to AI can go and look at to get some exposure to them and play with them? If you were just starting now, what would be a couple of things that you would suggest?
Yep. So I think number one, Dave, brushing up on artificial intelligence and machine learning models, just general awareness will definitely help prime someone from certain keywords, phrases, dialogues, lingo that's used in the industry. So that'll give them a general overview about artificial narrow, artificial general, and artificial super intelligence as we progress through the journey ahead. And secondly, I would say that going on channels such as YouTube and learning about prompting skills, I would say is a very rapid and quick way to improve one's leveraging of AI. And we can quickly take a look at that as how people used Google with algebraic expressions, i.e. adding quotes, and Google only searches for those quotes. There's a certain art to prompting that one will see where they started and where they end off will become very, very beneficial through a bit of fine tuning their prompting skills. And then third, Dave, I would say we're now seeing the ability to integrate artificial intelligence to day-to-day solutions. So I used ChatGPT to create a little, call it Pac-Man game, and it was Phil Neufeld chasing a Gosling around, which was kind of cute and funny. And you know, when you really take a look, and maybe that's a bad way of applying AI, but you add those first two together, and you take someone like me that doesn't know how to code properly, and it empowers them to quickly use a tool like Python through ChatGPT, one prompt, 10 minutes, and you have a game of Phil chasing a good old Gosling to victory.
Well, that's great.
We definitely need to get that edited of Phil actually within the coffee time video of Phil running around chasing people like Pac-Man.
Yeah,
A big editing trick.
Okay. Well, that's a hallucination, right?
I'll definitely share the game and some screenshots, guys. Not a problem. That's exciting.
Well, enjoy the rest of your stay in Pakistan and have a great time at the wedding, Abdullah's wedding. Abdullah's also a Gosling, and he's back home to get married and then coming back to Barrie, Ontario. So.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Dave. Thank you, Paul.